So I'm doing a little different today. If I'm actually Facebook Live and videoing for YouTube, because for some reason it hasn't been letting me save the videos to share on YouTube. But this is going to be a kind of a quick, short practice today. Scissors and splits. And if you're not in the mood, totally get it. It actually hasn't been, arm balances haven't really been something I've been doing a lot recently, but I'm kind of in the mood to play with it. Doesn't mean I will be successful. I have taught a couple things in class lately that went terribly wrong. But that's okay. As a teacher, you don't have to be able to do everything. I can just tell you how, and I have the fundamentals. I know what needs to be done. It's just that my body doesn't necessarily want to do it. And could be the same thing for you too. So it's going to be kind of a quick warm-up just to kind of get into it. So starting in hands and knees, just let yourself take a few rounds of cat and cow and just unwinding your spine a little bit. I am a little warm because I took a walk with my mom out in the cold and I had a lot of layers on, so I'm actually kind of sweaty, but my legs have been moving, so that's why I'm not doing a ton of warming up. So if you feel like you need more, don't hesitate to do it. One more time, rounding the spine, just take a moment to hollow out the belly. And then flatten out the spine and press down into your hands. Just pull your right knee towards your right arm and then bring it down. And then left knee to left arm. And again, a lot of you have heard me say this, but just in case, my hands are on blocks because I have a horrendous arthritis in my thumbs and I'm being tested this week for carpal tunnel. So this just helps relieve some of the discomfort. So I'm just alternating knees to elbow. And what I'm really just trying to do is start to wake up the belly in preparation for potentially scissors later on. But we're gonna do more to warm things up, just kind of waking things up. And then after letting yourself alternate the knees, you know, I did about 6 times or so, turn your fingers thumb out so your fingers face towards you. And if it's too much to do both hands at one time, just do one hand at a time. I'll tell you when to switch. I do like to move forward and back a little bit because I have a good amount of mobility, which is actually part of where my problem came from. Hypermobility isn't necessarily a good thing if you abuse it, and I know I have over the years. So the next time, maybe switch your hands if you're just doing one at a time. If you are doing both at the same time, maybe kind of stay shoulders over the wrists if that feels good, or if you want a little more, let yourself kind of lean back and see how that feels. And hello to whoever's watching. Unfortunately, I can't see that far, so I can't tell who's there. Let yourself come back up. Now here, just maybe roll out your hands for a second. And then just let your fingers face towards each other, palms facing up. And I'm taking some of the weight out of my hands by shifting my butt more towards my heels. And then curl your fingers in, and then just lengthen them back out. And you won't actually probably be able to make a real fist. It's going to feel a little bit spazzy. That's okay. We're just trying to open up some stuff in your hands. And after about 3 or 4 or 5 times, let yourself pause. And again, sit back, take your arms up. And this time, take your arms out to the side, thumbs in, fingers on top, and then tilt. And it kind of gets into the tendon, the ligament going right up your arm here. So just seeing how that feels. And then you can kind of push your hands away like stop signs. And then kind of flip your hands down. And then just let yourself bring your hands down and come on into down dog. And think of down dog as more of a chance to stretch out your legs a little bit. Like I said, I have gone for a walk, so my muscles are a little bit warm, but not necessarily stretched. So I'm just kind of pressing one heel and then the other towards the ground, which I can turn sideways so you can see a little better than just my head. And where's my legs? There's my legs. And then from here, you know, kind of let your head drop in between your arms. You might bend one knee and then the other, just letting yourself kind of wiggle out the legs a little bit. And then eventually, just walk your feet up towards your hands. And take a moment, just let yourself hang in. I like opposite elbows, but you can let your hands reach down, maybe even lengthen behind your neck. Just a matter of what feels good for you. Little sway, I find, is helpful. And then when you're ready, just inhale. Either let yourself roll up our long spine, come on up tall. Sweep the arms up high, just stretch up and off to one side. And then inhale, center, come up and over to the other. And then just come back into the center and then hands into the heart. So here, if you're just joining me, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a relatively short but quick practice, getting right into it, so don't worry, you'll still get the movement. And with the focus on splits and scissors, and if nothing else, it's just the prep for. So don't worry if you can't physically do them, you'll be ready to try. So on the inhale, draw your arms up. On the exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, step your right leg to a lunge, but keep your hands either on the ground or on blocks. Coil in like cat's breath, and then drop the hips, but lift your heart. Coil up. Now what I'm doing is when I'm sinking in, I'm pushing into the ball of the foot to try to stretch the front of my back leg. Coil up. This is using my belly, and then sinking in. Now here, you're going to down dog, so just make sure your blocks are stable. Left leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, maybe circle the hip around. Now we're just going to pull forward once. Just pull the knee up and into your belly. You could totally be on forearms right now if you want it to be. And then just put your left foot on the mat. Take your right leg up to the sky like a standing split. Step the right foot forward. Take the left leg up to the sky. And then just step your feet up towards your hands. Now if your hamstring's really tight, bend your knees a bit. Inhale, sweep up to the sky. Climb up and over. So I had my first pedicure in 2 years the other day. Yes, 2 years. Come back to the center and hands to the heart. And when he was massaging my shins, especially on this side, super, super tight. He happens to know I'm a yoga teacher. He's like, you should probably do more yoga. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Now left foot back to a lunge. I did wiggle my right foot forward a little more, so it was underneath my knee. And then coil in. Sink the hips, but lift the heart. Good. Coil in and up. So I'm scissoring through my legs, but I am using my belly a bit too. One more time, coil up. Now just for a moment, you can sink in, let your hips kind of hang down. Flatten out the blocks if they're on a higher point. Push up, right leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, wiggle it around if you feel like it. And then just pull forward to plank, pull the right knee into your belly. Put the right foot down on the mat. Take the left leg to the sky. Step it up a little bit. Take the right leg up to the sky. Step it up a little bit. And then fold in. Come all the way up to standing. And then exhale into the heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right leg back to a lunge. This time, maybe take the arms up to the sky. Now, on the exhale, let your hands come down, turn to the right, bend your back knee, then bend your front knee. Then come into the center, just a wide straddle, just for a moment. I'm kind of bouncing a little bit because that's what feels good in my legs right now, but if you just want to hang in, you totally could, whatever feels good for you. On the inhale, come more towards a halfway lift. Look over towards your left leg and come around towards the front of the mat. Lower down your right shin and then lengthen your left leg. And as much as you can, try to really pull your toes back towards your nose. If it's too tight in your calf, give yourself a break. And then try to bring your foot forward, point your toes a lot, and kind of roll it out to the side if you wish. And then let yourself sink back in. Now we're going to down dog, left leg up to the sky. Pull the left leg up. Now try to pull the left knee up towards your left arm. Try to squeeze it up there as much as you can. Then pull it into your belly. Then left foot down, right leg up to the sky. Right leg down, left leg up to the sky. Cross your left ankle behind your right ankle for a moment and fold in. Now, depending on how tight things are, you might need to come up a little higher. If you feel like you're locking your back knee, you might want to bend it a little bit. Then adding a twist just to kind of get some balance in there too. Press into your feet. Right shoulder rolls open. And then you can roll down and left shoulder rolls open. And then here, just come back to the center. Just pause here for a breath. Unwind your feet. And then inhale, step your left foot back towards a lunge. So you're right on the other side. Now here, again, you can draw the arms up. Just take a breath. Then exhale, hands down. Bending the back knee, a little skandasana, come over, bend the right knee. And then come into the center. And again, I'm kind of feeling like I want to move a little bit in the pose, but it doesn't matter what feels good for you and your hamstrings. And then inhale, halfway lift. Look over your right shoulder towards me. Come around towards the front. Lower your left shin. Lengthen your right leg. Itchy nose, sorry. Flex your foot a lot. And then point your foot a lot. If you need to, use your hands so you don't get crampy, like Krampus. And then sink into the right knee. Ground your hands, down dog. Right leg up to the sky. Pull the knee up towards your right tricep. And then into the center. And then right foot down, left leg up to the sky. Left foot comes down, right leg up to the sky. And then lower down both of your feet. Bend your knees. And then take a seat. I'm going to turn sideways so you're not just looking at my butt and my legs. So we're going to do a little bit of core on our back. And it is really just in preparation for the potential of scissors. But if you didn't want to do any abs, you could just make it a hamstring stretch. So take your left leg up to the sky. I tend to point my foot because of the aerial training, and I can picture Amanda saying, point your foot. But you can flex too. But hold on to your leg wherever you can reach it. It doesn't matter if it's your foot, your ankle, your toes. Push the leg away, let your head and shoulders come up. Now maybe float the right leg, that's extra if you want it. And then either bring your hands behind your head if you feel like you want support, or just sweep your arms forward. And then here, just lift your shoulders up a little higher. You can switch legs. Lift the shoulders up a little higher, switch legs, switch legs, switch legs, switch legs, switch legs. One more time, right leg up. Now both legs up. Now here, you might need to bend your knees a little bit. Start to let the legs lower down and try to use that as a cantilever to lift up your upper body. So you're coming into boat. And I'm struggling, if you can see that. Drop, you can bend your knees if you wanted to. And then just easy peasy, come down. Knees into your chest for a sec. And then left foot down, right leg up to the sky, or opposite leg, it doesn't matter which one you did first. Draw the leg towards you. Maybe float the other leg, that's optional, you can keep the foot on the floor. And then draw your head and shoulders up. Hands can come by on the head if you need it, or just reach your arms forward. And then switch legs. Switch, 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 both legs up. Then again, start to lower them down. If you need to, take a little bend in the knees. See if you can use that to draw you up. See, the second time was a little easier. Can't say it was great. And then lower down. Now, that was kind of to wake up the legs. Now, to get a moment in feeling the actual scissor shape, pull your left knee towards your left side of your ribs. Extend the right leg forward. Take your arms on the inside of your left knee. Now, if you want to, straighten the left leg. If your hamstrings aren't feeling it, keep it bent. And then here, just try to pick up your head and shoulders. If you need a hand behind your head, bring your right hand behind your head. Keep that left arm on the inside of your left leg. Try to stretch really long. Good. And then let yourself come back in. I keep looking because I know my iPad's almost out of juice, so I'm hoping it stays for the whole Facebook Live. If it doesn't, come back and watch it on YouTube. Then here, pull the right knee in. Extend the left leg out. Pull your head and shoulders up. You can bring your left hand behind your head if you want. You can straighten the right leg if you want, but try to lift up higher. Keep pushing that leg into your arms, squeezing it, and then easy, come on down. Now here, you can rock and roll. Come on up to standing. If you want to do chaturanga, up dog, down dog, you're welcome to. I don't. So on the inhale, sweep up. Here, hook your thumbs for a sec and just wiggle up and out of your waist. And then just exhale, hands down into the heart. So a little more to come. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back to the lunge. First, maybe hands come to the thighs. Try to get your shoulders over your hips. And really what we're trying to do right now is open up the front of the right quadricep. Give it a breath here. Now, you can take your hands down to the ground or to blocks. I'm choosing to use my blocks. Sorry, I should have been better prepared there. And then lengthen your left leg. Now, if you need to bend the knee, go right ahead. If you'd rather put the right knee on the ground like you did the last time, go right ahead. But now what I'd like you to try to do is bring both arms to the inside of your left foot and then let your hips kind of push out to the left a little and then see if you can roll them back into the center. So push them out to the side, roll them back into the center. And then here, you can stay where it feels good for you, either keeping the head kind of drawing to the front of the room, if you want to soften your elbows and hang in a bit. And then again, bend your knee, turn to face the long edge of the mat, bend your right knee. Now, while you're here, just take your arms down and kind of let your right shoulder touch your right inside of your thigh. If you can't see it, I'm doing that. And then come on up and over, bend the left knee. So I'm moving my left arm so it's kind of on the inside of my left leg. Just starting to make some connections. And then come on into the center. Maybe let your hands go through your feet. You can turn the palms to the sky if you want to give your wrists a little bit of space. Shake out your head. Now inhale, come on up. Now turn back over your left leg. I'm going to stay facing this direction so you can see what I'm going to do. So from here, let yourself come up and back, down dog, but take the left leg up to the sky. Pull the left knee up and into your belly, and then just bring it towards your left tricep. Take a bit of a bend in your elbow so you can get a little bit of a shelf, and maybe straighten the left leg. You can keep it bent if you'd rather. My right foot is still on the ground, but notice how my hips are slightly higher than my shoulders. My elbows are bent. I'm trying to look forward. And then just push up. Left leg to the sky. Pull the left knee in, right leg to the sky. Right leg in, left leg to the sky. And then just both feet down. Come on up to stand. Hands into the heart. I'm just going to turn this mat because I'm slightly nervous I'm going to slip. I've learned in my old age, if something doesn't feel like it's quite safe, it's probably not. So here, right now, you're technically at the top of the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold in. Halfway lift. Exhale, left leg back to lunge. Now take the arms up. Relax your arms, bring them down to your front thigh, but bend the back knee a little bit. You want the front of this quad to open up. That's so you have a really strong back leg. And right now, bending into the front leg to get some strength going here. Now, hands can come down. Maybe shorten your stance, lengthen the right leg. You choose, either keep reaching the crown of the head to the front of the room. Maybe you're starting to bring your hands into the inside of the foot. You can let your hips rock out a little bit, rock back. It's not big movement. It's like just enough to kind of feel your IT band get a little fired up and then come in. One more time perhaps. Now when you're ready, let yourself come around towards the left. Come on up and over, bend your left knee. Now if you'd like, you might even roll down a bit lower. This is more to open up your inner thigh, so if it doesn't feel safe on your knees, stay high. Using your hands or not, come on up and over, bend the right knee. And again, high or low. I'm rolling the toes of the back foot to the sky in case you can't see that. Now come back into the center. Now here, again, just forward folding for a moment. You might even reach out for your feet. Just letting yourself sink in. See how my elbows are falling in? Wrap them back up to the sky, neck is long. And then inhale, come on up towards a halfway lift. Now here, you turn back towards the front of your mat so your right leg can lift. I'm just staying sideways so you can see what I'm doing. So take your right leg up to the sky. Now pull the right knee up to your right tricep. Try to bend your elbows a bit. You might straighten the right leg, you might not. Try to squeeze in your left elbow. And then push up and back. Now step forward with your right foot. Left leg to the sky. Step forward with your left foot. Right leg to the sky. And then cross your right ankle behind your left ankle, because I forgot to do that earlier. So you're getting a little deeper into that back leg again. You can bend either of your knees if you feel like you're hyperextending a bit. Give it a breath or two. And then just unwind your feet. Come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. So we're going to come back through one more series of standing poses, and then the arm balance will come in. But one thing just to think about right now, take your arms out in front. My palms are facing forward like my palms are on the ground. When you do chaturanga, or just bend your elbows kind of towards you, they're going to come in and sweep by your side. Now, if you didn't know yoga, you'd probably go this way. What I want you to think about is chaturanga arms, so letting yourself kind of skim the triceps to the inside of your side body. But you'll notice you miss it. So when we go into the scissors, if you want to, if you take the hand of the leg that's going to stay long behind you. So say I'm bringing my right leg forward, I'm going to turn this elbow just a little bit. So when I pull in, this elbow gets a little bit more towards my belly and hip. I happen to be just the right height that it kind of lands in a bony part, but if it happens to land in your stomach, sometimes it's not the most comfortable feeling. The only thing you want to avoid, so I'll do it with the right hand, is when you pull the elbows in, if you're letting this elbow flare, it's putting a lot of pressure on your shoulder. So try to keep the elbow as close as you can, and you don't necessarily have to be on your elbow. Okay, so I just don't want to say all that when we're doing scissors. I'll remind you, but now you'll know what it looks like. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Now, right leg back to warrior one. More just to open up the back leg a little bit. So here, now I'm getting a bit more into my calf. Just let your arms be still for a sec. What I really want you to think about more than your arms is I'm really pushing back with my right foot. I'm pushing forward through the heel of my left foot. And what I mean by all of this, my legs are strong. Rather than just being kind of here and hanging out, which I don't know if you can see the difference, but I can feel the difference. I'm trying to like almost rip my mat in two. Because whenever I teach scissors or poses like that, I'm always saying, spread your legs, spread your legs. And I know it sounds fresh. It's a little fresh. But what I mean is this, make your legs strong. So now here, lengthen your left leg. If you want, take your left arm on the inside and just kind of feel your left arm on the inside of your left leg. You might even want to bend it a little bit just so you can see that connection or feel that connection. Give it a couple breaths where you are, bent or straight leg. Now come around to the right, just getting a chance to come off the leg. If you want to roll and sit all the way down, you might lengthen out over your front leg, just an option. And then come back to the center. Now, you can pop up, switch your legs, or keep it simple. Pull your left leg in, take your right leg out, and come on up and over. We're gonna do it a second time, so don't worry if you feel like you need to be balanced. Now here, coming around, once again, you're gonna turn to the front of the mat so you can bring your left leg up to the sky. I'm gonna stay this way so you can see what I'm doing. So this is when you might decide to turn the elbow in a little bit so you can kind of catch onto your hips, but it's not necessary, it's just an option. I might kick my bike, I'm not sure. So left leg is coming up. Pull the left leg to the outside of your tricep. Maybe turn the right hand in a little so you can kind of catch your hip and then see if you can start to lengthen your legs. You might want to turn your head sideways because then if your head goes on the floor, it's okay. And then, chaturanga. I'm actually shocked I could do it. And then up and back, downward facing. Now, if you're like, Debbie, geez, Louise, how am I supposed to get there? Another little trick. Pull the knee up, let your hips sink, kick yourself in the butt. And then you can even put your head on the ground, pull the knee in more, and then push the leg up to the sky. Some of you are gonna find that's way harder, but you're using your core and your glutes to lift, not momentum. Just your choice. So back to the top, and then we're gonna do the other side. Inhale up, and don't worry, we're almost done. Exhale and fold. I have to get ready for my afternoon lunch date with my husband. Left leg is coming back. Now walk your hands up your right thigh. And then here, you can open up the front of your thigh. And sinking in, you can stay still. Maybe you feel like you want to roll out your wrists, especially if that felt a little weight bearing in your hands. I know it did in mine. I'm not used to doing arm balance as much anymore. Then when you feel ready here, maybe pull the foot in a little bit to lengthen your right leg. You can let your arms come to the inside of the leg. You can keep it straight or maybe bend it a little bit so you can feel your tricep on the inside of your thigh. Pull back, sink in maybe again. Then here, just turn up and over towards the left. Bend your back knee, come all the way down to a seat. Maybe stretch over the right leg. If this doesn't feel good on the top knee, the left knee, you could always bring that leg into tree. And then come on up, and of course, you can pick up, switch up and over, but I'm just going for efficiency and just switch legs, climb up and over. And then coming back up. Now here, this is where you'll turn to the front of the mat so your right leg can go up to the sky. I'm gonna turn sideways. Now you don't have to use blocks, but some of you might find it's helpful. Another trick with blocks is actually to put it under your back foot because that gives you more sensation of height. So right leg can go to the sky, pull the right leg up to your right tricep, try to bend the left tricep, extend the right leg. So you could keep the toes on the floor or maybe shift and see if you can pick up the left leg. But you have to make your legs super, super strong. If you're letting them kind of flip and flop, you'll get stuck. Now what I did on the other side, and I'll do a slightly different variation here, just in case you want it, is so here, hands and knees, right knee to right tricep. Let your hips come down. So you might have to move your hands a little further forward because you don't want your butt too much higher.
bend into your back knee, and then maybe just push the leg up. It just makes it so your limbs are shorter, especially for your long-legged people, because that's a lot of leg to lift up. I don't have that problem. I have a lot of booty to lift up, but not a lot of leg. So here, just taking a seated pose, out of breath, can you tell? Now, taking your legs wide. I happen to love this pose, so it's comfortable for me to come forward. For a lot of us, that is not the case. So if that is you, I would focus on sitting up tall. What I try to focus on here to strengthen myself rather than just go into flexibility is take the arms by my ears and shift forward and make myself stop. So like this is about as far as I can go safely without using my hands. My back is super strong. My stomach is super strong. If I want to come forward and go into flexibility, that's this. But you'll notice like here, maybe I'll extend one arm, but I know I can't stay there. Here, I know I can stay. Give it a breath. Release down. You might need to use your hands to help your legs come in. Double pigeon or half pigeon if you'd like. I've really been liking double pigeon these days. I'm not sure. It seems to feel better on my knees, generally speaking, but it can be for lots of reasons for you. You can always put a block here or in front of your shin, so then that way you don't have to have the legs stacked. That'll take some of the pressure off your knee. Some of you might even want to straighten the bottom leg. I'm going to add a little twist just because I haven't done a ton of twisting. And then come into the center, counter pose. And then if you're missing your boat pose, you can roll back, unwind, maybe lift just for a second, and then left leg under, right leg on top, or opposite side. Again, you might notice one side feels different than the other, and same thing in the arm balance. I am not making it up. I am shocked I could do the pose, because when I tried to teach it the other day, I could not. So maybe that was why I wanted to do it today. But then letting yourself turn over to one side, and then come on over to the right. But that's why you have to come back to revisit trying different things. I mean, arm balances used to be something that honestly weren't very much of a challenge for me, and now they are again. So now it's just kind of relearning how to feel it in my body. So if you want, maybe come on into boat, and then release your legs down. Now, this is where I'm planning on ending the practice, but if you want to take a moment for Shavasana or to chill, go right ahead. If not, just maybe take your hands towards your knees or towards your shins. I'm turning the palms down for grounding because I know I need that right now. I'm feeling a little spazzy today, which you can probably tell by how fast I'm talking. And just take a couple breaths. And try to remember when your patience is challenged or somebody gets upset with you or angry with you. You can react in certain ways, and you can maybe change the way they're feeling towards you by how you manage yourself. So rather than escalating the situation, how can you calm it down? And whether it's, with a partner, a parent, road rage, whatever it is. Another breath. And thank you. I hope you had some fun doing some scissors, just short, sweet practice. If anything went funny with Facebook Live, it'll be on YouTube later. Bye, y'all.